and massive offshore online retailers like Temu, AliExpress and Shein are reshaping Kiwi shopping habits, with more of us opting for their low-cost goods over local retailers. According to NZ Post's e-commerce data, online spending in New Zealand surpassed $6 billion last year. That's a 5% increase from the previous year. And while overseas transactions are growing faster than domestic ones, the average offshore spend per purchase is decreasing, but Temu has seen the biggest surge, with a 33% jump in purchases compared to 2023. Managing Director of First Retail Group, Chris Wilkinson, sees this shift as a major challenge for Kiwi businesses and warns that while these platforms offer what we see as great deals, shoppers often end up spending more than expected. And he joins me now. Chris, good afternoon.
Kia ora, Leah. How are you?
Well, I think I might be the only person who's never shopped on Temu. True story.
There'd be very few out there that haven't.
I know, like literally, I think every person, my friends, my family. But anyway, yeah, I've resisted and I shall continue to. But there is nothing new about online shopping, though, is there, Chris? But explain the sheer enormity of the Temus and the Sheins and the AliExpresses.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a phenomenon, essentially. So what Temu and Shein and AliExpress have done is that they are selling direct from the suppliers. So very, very low cost, low volume, low cost models that they have developed and selling around the world in significant volume beyond belief.
How does a New Zealand business compete? I mean, what things do local retailers do to compete against these massive online giants?
Well, there's very little they can do for many of the product. The key edge that they have is convenience. So if you need those screws or if you need that odd thing for your bike today, you're going to go to the bike shop, you're going to go to Mitre 10. But if you've got that ability to plan ahead and you don't mind waiting and you potentially don't mind whether the quality is going to be there or not, in many cases it is, but in some cases it's not going to be, then you can opt for those options, and many people are.
And I suppose, Chris, at the end of the day, you know, shoppers love a bargain. We like to think that we're getting bang for our buck, or, you know, for those who don't have a lot of, money after paying all the bills. But there are hidden downsides, isn't there, to buy cheaper products? I won't say they're all bad, but they are obviously cheaper from overseas, isn't there?
Well, there are downsides for, in many cases, we don't know the sources of those types of products. So whether those kinds of labour conditions are right, the materials, all of those aspects have become problems, and we've seen that playing out in the media in recent years. But for our economy, without a doubt, you know, these are we love having those kinds of retailers in our communities, the retailers that employ our kids, employ our parents, fill our towns, and the more and more we see these businesses being impacted, the fewer of those we will have.
Yeah. I mean, some might say as long as, you know, Temu and is it Shein, is it? I keep calling it Shein. Call it Shein. Is it Shein?
I think we all have different names for you.
We'll call it Shein. I mean, they pay GST. Is it fair game? Do you think that's enough to level the playing field?
Look, we've seen initiatives happening overseas, but because the transactions are low value, they always fall under a threshold that governments can really effectively work against. And we've been watching what's been playing out in the UK, but the reality is it's a very difficult one to ever legislate for. The real thing we need to be doing is, in many cases, people get caught up in the euphoria of these because they adopt a different type of mechanism. If anyone's been on to Temu, they gamify the transaction. And that's quite a lot of entertainment. It wraps people up. There's a euphoria about it. And you can often end up buying more than you ever anticipated, or different types of products.
Yeah, yeah. Explain that to me. So you said that people often do end up spending more than they plan on sites like Temu because they draw people in and they keep them hooked. Because I have never bought on it, Chris. I've never been on it. But can you play games and things on the website?
Well, essentially, that's your first experience that you get to. So you spin a wheel,
Spin a
it
wheel.
automatically spins. It comes through with a discount miraculously. Then you can spin it again, and you might even get another deal. And it sort of wraps you up in this process. And once you're in the process, and no matter how smart you are, let's put it this way: retailers have always been doing this, whether it's the lolly aisle at the checkout or other types of experiences through that process, just to prompt people and encourage them to buy more.
Yeah.
This is nothing new, but we're using technology now, and it's being used very effectively. And the other thing is, this gamified technology, gamified experiences really resonate with younger people. The people that are also very mindful, theoretically, of the environment and social values.
I know.
So it seems quite a contradiction going on here.
I was just about to say that, but I think I do remember now, because what Temu does do, and I'll mention them the most because they advertise, all the algorithms and social media pick them up, and I can't open anything without an ad for them. So it's it's just in your face all the time, and that spinning wheel makes you, they've proven in a casino, the bright lights and the chance of winning. There's something in our back of our brain that just kind of clicks off but goes, oh, I want to play this game.